Hi, welcome to I Wish I Was British. So, high school starting back. Yeah, not exciting. Also, I was supposed to post last week, and then I didn't see anybody that I was planning to film an episode with, and then what ended up happening is that I just didn't post. So I'm coming out with another one tomorrow. Anyway, yeah, high school's starting back up. Most of the schools around me have already started, and I thought I'd take this moment to talk about high school. When I was younger, I loved school. Like, I loved it so much, and it's because I didn't do sports, and we just didn't do any other activities and stuff that like kept me around other kids. I didn't, or I didn't like it, and I never liked like sporty girls or never did community theater, and so the only people I knew were kind of from my brother, and that's about it. Yeah. And eighth grade was like my worst year of high school because I started going more days. Because at my school, it's not 5 days a week. It's kind of just a different like setup, and so I started going on an extra day with a bunch of people I knew, but a bunch of people I didn't like. And then I started on an extra day, other than that, where I only had two friends. And it was not fun, let me tell you that. It was like terrible. It was kind of like the worst time of my life. Then ninth grade, I started making friends. Um, and then in ninth grade, um, the summer after ninth grade, so last summer, I wrecked a friendship. Um, I was specifically hating all the people I was hanging out with. And then I was obsessed with this guy and I let it take over like my entire summer. So then 10th grade rolls around and I'm like, oh my goodness, I had to balance all these friend groups and there's this new guy I really like and like it's just gonna be a lot. It was a lot. I was starting college classes. I was having to balance a bunch of people that I didn't like hanging out with, but kind of like didn't have a choice. And then people that I did like hanging out with, and then the people they liked, and then like it was just not great. However, the I ended the year off strong. I was very happy with people I drifted away from. I was very happy with kind of just my overall like friend group situation by the end of school. And I was like the plays went really well. Everything went fine except summer hits. Let me tell you. I've only had people reach out to me for hangout twice. Audio listeners, I'm staring at the camera. This is for dramatic effect. You don't understand. You're probably like, oh, okay, yeah, because for some of you that's normal. No, like I usually hang out with people, like last fall, I hung out with people like twice every week, not counting college, not counting school. In January, that changed. I just hated everybody, and so I hung out with nobody until like March. And then I found new friend groups, and it's because I liked a guy, and then I hated that guy, and then I just didn't want to hang out with that group anymore. Uh, and last summer, actually, I planned all these big hangouts. Here's the problem. I told myself I wasn't going to do that again. Here's why. I was the only one driving. I was the only one planning. I was the only one hosting. And Everybody was begging me. This summer, everybody who wanted to hang out, if they wanted to hang out with me, they told me, or we came to an agreement. Like, it wasn't like a, like, here's, like, this is crazy. Nobody invites me to things. I invite people and we talk about something planning together. Because when people want to plan something, they just tell me they want to do it and then they make me plan it and act like they're the co host when they literally don't do anything but text one person. It's terrible. And you're probably like, well, that's kind of normal. You're being kind of selfish. Okay, good for you. That's a nice opinion. So this summer, I could have tried. And oh, here's the other thing, actually. And this is terrible because I'm trying to be better about being super negative and stuff. Because like I went through this period where I just hated everybody. I can like I'm fine with this actually. Like I'm actually okay with the fact that I didn't see anybody this summer. Here's why. Because I just took the time to spend it on myself. I kind of have anger issues and unless you live in my household, you probably don't know this. Unless you're a couple of my friends who have lashed out on. But I'm very passionate, I'm very argumentative, and I throw things when I get really upset. Um, and then I kind of have, and then I go back to being normal. Like it's so weird, but or like when I'm sad about something, I just deny everything. I'm just like, I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna go there. I'm not, like that kind of stuff. Well, so naturally, I wanted to go back to school, not having all this built up anger like last year, because last year they put the phone rule in, and then they had I was just really mad at the school. They changed all my classes. There was so much favoritism. The system just like absolutely sucked. And I just hated every single bit of it. We got this stupid, dumb play, and I got put on the wrong day. And so I didn't want to go back to school being stressed out and having all this built up anger. Um, did this work for me? I'm not really sure if I'm going back to school completely okay because now I have some other problems. But I spent it just telling myself that I can't do things for other people anymore. And I think this is a serious thing in high school because you're like, oh, you're being dramatic. It's like hormones. Like, it's high school. Like, and you should be nice to everybody. I am nice to everybody. The problem is, I'm so nice that people think we're best friends. And we don't text or talk. Somehow they get the impression that we're like best friends. And that's fine because, like, if they need friends, good, but if we don't vibe, or if you were if you were so clingy to the point where you're dragging me away from everything else, we can't, we can't. It's just not, this isn't gonna work. So, I mean, I figured some things out over the summer. How I was gonna handle certain situations, certain friends I should just stop hanging out with because they were rude and didn't like me for being me, or they were just so unbearable. Because I found out in high school people are terrible friends. I have a lot of friends that are terrible. And this sounds terrible. Like, this sounds so dramatic and stuff, but I'm taking this as a moment to be so for real because I need people to know this. Teenagers are not good. Like, we are so mean. The rumors, the things we say to people, and specifically as a girl, I've found a lot more trouble with girls because guys can all kind of like vibe. I pick and choose my girlfriends. I've had the same girlfriends for the past like 3 years. I only got one new one, and it was just because I liked her brother, and then we became best friends. Shout out to her. She knows who she is. Because now I don't like her brother. And like, um, so, I mean, you gotta hear me out on this because genuinely, We're all going through our own problems. So I understand why we're so unbearable and why we're so rude and all this stuff. It's because we act this way, and it's because certain things are happening at home for some of them, and then all that kind of stuff. Most of the kids at my school have really bad ADHD or autism, which is kind of hard to deal with, and all these kids are kind of special. So none of them are really normal. My school isn't like a public school, and they're all conservative. Almost all of them. And if they're not, they're most likely annoying. And so, well, I guess we'll just move on from that. I mean, I kind of had to spill that. But I also took the summer to find my interests. I've always been the weird kid. The weird kid as in I watched anime. I had a total drama shirt and people judged me for it. I told people I liked Five Nights at Freddy's and I wasn't like a Five Nights at Freddy's kid, but like all my friends were like, oh, this is stupid, this is stupid. Oh, you have a Pushing calendar? This is stupid. And so I spent the summer, naturally, listening to podcasts and watching YouTubers that have interests. I watched some K-dramas. I didn't. I actually only watched Squid Game this summer. And then I watched a J-drama. But I watched I was looking at so many people's Instagrams and like YouTube and vlogs and stuff. And the thing is, you're like, oh, that's fake, that's fake. I truly don't believe that all of this is fake. Y'all are just making it up to make yourselves feel better. I genuinely think, even if they're not happy, I would be happy doing what they're doing. So I don't care if they're happy. I just wish I could go travel to Korea. I wish I could travel to England. Is it so bad? I have like a bunch of flies in my room right now and gnats because of my plants. And so I think you can hear the little flies. Um so yeah, I think that I gained confidence over the summer. And I think that's something we all need to take time to do. Is gain confidence, because you can see I have all these interests and I'm very open about my interest. Except for the fact that my friends don't like my interests or they don't know what I'm talking about, so I can't tell them about it. But then they treat me like I'm stupid for liking it. And so I got very sick of people telling me I shouldn't have piercings, I shouldn't dye my hair, I shouldn't cut my hair, I shouldn't wear this. Guys' clothes are stupid. Japanese clothes are stupid. Japanese Japanese street style is stupid. Um Watching that show was stupid. That's cringy and all this stuff. And I'm like, can't I just do my thing? Is that so much to ask for? Um, and if you don't know me, I think my podcast gives a very negative thing. And if you ask most people, I'm actually a pretty uh, happy person. Oh, sorry. I'm kind of naive too. I feel like I think that's kind of the vibe I give. But the knee shot, it genuinely like I think everybody just needs to take time to realize that it's okay to like what you like, do what you want to do, and just not listen to other people. Sorry, listen to other people unless it's technically bad for you. If people are telling you that it's like affecting your personality, like in a bad way and stuff, and you notice something's different, like really take a moment to realize if it's affecting you in a bad way. If it's not, then whatever. Do your thing, like, and I decided I was gonna stop being so basic. Um, and I was gonna buy some clothes that fit me the way I liked them to and that were cute, and I was gonna get stuff more just into like I was just gonna get more into like things that I like being more like passionate about them, because the one big Minecraft era I had, everybody was like, that's stupid. So I'm back in my Minecraft era. It's not just because of Tommy in it. Definitely not. Definitely not. Uh, but yeah, so I took the summer to do that, and that's why I didn't hang out with a bunch of people. Sorry, we're 15 minutes in, and I've just been talking about how I don't like people. That's not true. But we'll talk about this more. The best thing about going back to school is school shopping, because I always get to kind of like reset my vibe. Like, I'm gonna study this way. I'm gonna use these highlighters. I'm gonna use these notebooks, and I get to get new keychains and like this stuff. And I'm gonna have like a little haul on my creator Instagram account, which is private, but you know, it's building up. So if you know what it is, you can see it. But and that has like a little haul of all the stuff I bought, and I actually bought a lot more than I was trying to, but it's because I was getting rid of a bunch of my clothes that I just didn't like and wasn't gonna wear. So I could replace it with clothes I was gonna wear and I was gonna be happy with and I really liked, and blah 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 blah. And it was stuff I was gonna last for. Like, I bought these really cute baggy jeans from Zoomies. I would have never thought of Zoomies if it weren't for that guy in the thrift store with the dragon jeans and the curly hair. And he told me where he bought his jeans. So I bought jeans. What a cool guy. Anyway, I was happy with how last school year ended. So I thought maybe this year wouldn't be as bad. I don't think it is, but I just it's hard to explain. The environment is kind of bad. Mainly because our school is so small that everybody knows what's happening with each other. We don't have sports, so everybody takes theater. So the cool kids are theater kids, but we don't do cool theater shows. And nobody tries. And there's favoritism. And every kid is so cocky and thinks they're the victim when they aren't chosen. I've been taking it since 5th grade and I've never had a lead role. And I'm a better actor than most of these kids. Y'all just don't get to see it because, like, I feel stupid trying because nobody else is trying. Yeah. But the environment's just, me and my friend were saying the environment's stinky. It is stinky. You know why? It's the people. The people are all the same. None of them have personalities. They all play like the same 3 sports. They all do theater. They don't do theater. We all have taken the same teachers, and we're all in each other's classes. We all go to the dances with the same groups every year. And nobody's dating. It's a weird class. It's a weird, or not class. It's a weird school. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera. And I'm not really sure how to explain this because I feel like I'm the only person that has this problem. Environments make me weirded out, to say, kind of. Here, let me explain. After I crack my neck. In environments, different environments, like different settings, different groups of people make you kind of like, it's kind of weird. Like, it kind of makes you feel a little differently towards something. So I'm trying to think of an example. I'm not gonna use that. That's political. So I went to this interview. And I was gonna be a scare actor at this terror in the corn kind of place. You know, where they like, it's like zombies and stuff. And it's at a farm. So you can also work at the farm. However, they're owned by 2 different places. People at the farm are like older people, basic people. The people at the maze are all emo. and have really bad social skills. Not a single one of them was normal, and not a single one of them I could be around for more than 2 minutes. That's why they probably didn't want me, because they could tell the vibe was wrong. They also made me roleplay. Hated that. But I didn't go in for a scare actor. I went in for a staff member, an event member, which means you stand outside, you say, "How was the night? What was your favorite part? Was it scary?" Do the survey on this QR code, okay? And show me you did it, and I'll give you a little token. I'll give you a little prize. I messed up and said, "I might give you a little something," or something like that. I was like, "And I might give you a little gift." And the girl was like, "Might?" So I hate role playing. I'm so good on it on Roblox and only on Roblox. So that's kind of an example of an environment, if that makes sense. It was like everybody was like very judgy. If you weren't like them, it wasn't gonna work. And it was not in a prissy way. It wasn't in a snobby way. That would be an environment though. Prissy, snobby. And I'm so sorry because I wasn't gonna say this because this is political. Sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic. Christians. I am. I'm religious. Let me say that. This is just coming from someone who's been in a lot of churches. Churches usually have, each church has their own vibe, but they all share one thing in common. If you aren't a Christian, they probably don't welcome you. Okay? Certain churches don't like the way you dress. Certain churches don't like the way you look. If you have dyed hair, you're sinning. If you have a piercing, you're sinning. That kind of stuff. Which is fine. I'm not trying to hate and I'm not trying to stereotype because I've been in churches where they are more accepting. Trust me. But then you have the liberal ones, which will let you do everything and then tell you it's okay. It would be liberal, right? See, I don't know what I'm talking about. Naive. You following along. So that'd be an example of an environment. um, my school has a very weird environment. And I'm not really sure how to explain it. But I hope you kind of get the gist, because I can't really explain it. I'm not gonna complain about the teachers and the favoritism and how badly of an organized system it is and the wrong placements of money and how National Honor Society has no power and is really stupid and you can't do anything and nobody's helping you. I'm not gonna talk about that. That's not important. What I'm gonna talk about is the fact that nobody new comes to our school and they are all the same as the new people. So there is no chances of making new friends. Because I've gone through everybody. Unless we get a new baddie at school, but people are telling me we're not getting new baddies, and I'm afraid we actually aren't. And it's not a public school, so people don't have their own personalities. Because we only go like once or twice a week. It's great. Also, that means like there's no chance of ever like dating there. But most kids don't date at my school, or aren't allowed to, or something. I do have something to say about this. We have blogs on our school page where we can blog and publicly show. And when I was younger, I really liked doing that, and I'd brag about the new t-shirts I bought for my Disneyland trip. And like, oh, my art is better than yours. And but it wasn't like, looked like a 13-year-old who watched anime would draw. It was like with the Dream SMP and like Hamilton, kids drew, but like, it was like my OCs for a music video from Set It Off. The like kind of Fallout copycat band. Um, so it's nothing special, but people still post on there. And I got into this thing with people about the summer I turned pretty. Not into a thing. But there was kind of like, I didn't go back and forth, but multiple people chimed in. And I can't remember if it was this girl's vlog, or it was my blog, not vlog. They're not video vlogs. That'd be terrible. Blog. I can't remember if it was my blog or her blog. But at some point, somebody brought up, we were talking about the summer I turned pretty, and she was like, I can't watch the summer I turned pretty because it's like dating. Yeah, it's a really dramatic show, and I can't get through the last season because there's just too much making out and other suspicious stuff happening. Yes. Also, Jeremiah makes me want to kill myself. Whoa. I hope I don't get canceled for that or taken down or whatever. So you can see. The show isn't bad though. Every show has teenage dating in it. Did you not grow up on Liv and Maddie? Did you not grow up on Jesse? There's the door. And if you're a Gilmore Girls fan, which everybody but me is for some reason, even guys, they dated. I don't know what to tell you. Even in the cartoons, people date. Bluey. People dating Bluey. They're not in high school though, so I guess that's different. Pretty sure they date in Proud Family. I don't think people above the age of like 13 watch Proud Family, but if you watch Proud, not Pride, that'd be something. Family, whatever. I whole side thought. I've noticed that in videos, I go from back here to right here. It's because I have a bad habit of leaning down, but then my back hurts and I need to crack in, so I lean back. Maybe next time I'll sit up against this. Get a closer look at my wall. I'm not gonna show you. Actually, I have a Tommy Innit shrine over there if you're wondering. Not gonna show it. I also have a Tommy Innit figurine up there. Not gonna show it. I made it. Completely normal. A gnat just flew at my nose. Not up at. Oh, yes. We were talking about dating. I have a thing in my notes that just says the high school experience, and it has a list of things. Dating. I don't see the problem of dating in high school. Don't play around. But I don't fully believe in the phrase dating to marry. You're probably like, that's whoa, you just said no playing around, but you don't agree with dating to marry. Here's the thing. I don't think you should have it in your mind that you're going to marry that person because it's delusional, and that means if you have that mindset, if you completely have that mindset, that means you're never going to meet anybody else, and you're going to marry that person, and that person might not be for you. And I believe every person has a person out there for them, and it is possible to meet in high school. I know my aunt and uncle met in high school. There were multiple kids in my high school, and mainly Christian kids do this because I don't know why, because they don't know other kids. They just know the people that go to their church and their school, and then their parents are like, yes, marry, and then they just get married for the only person they've ever been near that's the opposite gender. I'm sorry, that's so rude if you're married. You probably aren't, but sorry. This is like when they're doing ASMR, but they it's not important. So, yeah. And most people that say they're not gonna date in high school, good for you if you don't meet the person that you jive with in high school. Because most of the people that date in high school don't even end up being with them anyway, right? And I mean, if you're dating, just because you don't jive doesn't mean you won't be together for a couple of years and stuff. And I think everybody has to kind of find what they're okay with and what they're not. In order to do that, you have to date. I believe you should try in your relationships, but you shouldn't have the expectation that you are always going to be together. So I'm wiser than most of you guys, by the way. I've been told. Sorry. It's true. For my age. Um, if you are the kid that says that you're not going to date in high school and that you're done with crushes right now, shut the heck up. Even if you're not allowed to date, that doesn't mean that you don't want to date, okay? Most of you can't lie to yourselves, okay? I can see right through it. Or no, you can lie to yourselves, but you can't lie to me. I can see right through it. I have multiple friends that say they don't want to date, and I know good and well if they were asked by the person they liked, they would. They're just mad that we have friends that are dating, okay? My friends that I just called out, they don't watch, so because they don't care. To my 3 friends that watch, y'all are better. Moved up on my wall of pictures. No, I'm kidding. That's a lie. um, it is kind of hard too because I think a lot of people decide not to date because they're gonna ruin a friendship. Me and one of my friends, not gonna go into super details, but I don't know, but it might have ruined our friendship if we ended up together. And it ruined one of my friendships, knowing that me and my friend had feelings for each other. So, oops. But I mean, you should never be scared to try. If you like somebody, you should go ahead and try. And I mean, inviting somebody to a dance. Gnat flew at my nose again. What's the harm? It's high school. I really don't give a crap about who I lose and who I gain at this point. I'm kind of just trying to get through high school. This is the other thing I was going to talk about: the high school experience. THSE, the high school experience. I know we all say we hate high school, but hear me out. It is not that great. Because you're probably not going to fit in. It's kind of hard to make friends. Like, I'm going to be straight up. There's cliques at my school. My school is a clique. Churches have cliques. Sports have cliques. That's just the truth. Theater groups have cliques. Anything has cliques. And that's just life. Life has cliques. And work environments has cliques. It doesn't matter the age, doesn't matter the gender. It's just like there are cliques. Sometimes it does matter the gender, but cliques, okay? So you naturally just can't make friends with everybody. And as somebody who has had a lot of trouble and with this and stuff, it is, I think it's just kind of like a part of high school because I think people romanticize high school and I wish I could, but I don't have a strong friend group that I love. There's not one friend group I have where I love. And that's terrible of me to say, and I feel bad for the people that like I'm telling this to, that you guys are in, but like it's just the truth. It's hard when people don't understand anything you talk about or tell you that that's stupid or all this stuff. And I mean, if it's in a joking way and we know both it's jokingly, then that's okay. Like, I don't know what it is, but me and my girlfriends, we can joke. We can be like, that's stupid. But we still go on fine liking our stuff. But if a dude tells me that actually, here's the thing. If a dude were to tell me that my stuff was stupid, I'd be like, okay, here's the thing though. They get mad at me when I tell them their stuff is stupid. So then I get in trouble for no reason. for making a joke. And then I feel like everything they just told me was real. So then I can't have a personality around my guy friends because they literally just like are so judgmental about everything. Sorry. This episode has turned into a big thing of me just complaining because high school does have its perks. It is your peak year. You know, it's the only years you can really do sports. Not for me. It's really the only years you can really do theater and you can do like band and like all that stuff. But you're not gonna use all the school stuff. I mean, we know that like past middle school, even in like until like 6th grade, like past that, you don't need like anything you learn. And if you do, you could go to college. Because did you know in Japan, and we have more job offerings in Japan for people with than Japan. We have more people in America than in Japan with for jobs that you don't need a high school diploma for. That well, yeah, you don't need a high school diploma for here compared to Japan. Because in Japan, it's kind of like down upon to not finish high school, but it's optional. High school's optional. It's like college. It's like because you know you like for there because after you graduate middle school, you can go to high school and then you go to uni. But you don't have to go to high school and you don't have to go to uni. And I don't know if you have to go to high school in order to go to uni. I'm not 100% sure about that. Maybe it depends. I'm not really sure. But I think there's less job opportunities over there and it's looked more down upon just because of the way the culture is, especially for men, like getting good jobs and all that stuff. But in America, guys, since we have more jobs that you don't need a high school diploma for, can't we literally just not go to high school? Like, it's so pointless. Like, most kids waste their lives at high school because they don't have friends and they don't do theater and they don't get to do sports. And I know high school saves some people, and that's great for them. I thought high school was going to be my peak, but I just don't think it is. Now I'm all the way back here. I just genuinely don't think high school is going to be my peak. Because there's no people that shout to me, I'm going to bring you to my grave. Like, I love you so much. There are a couple people that are almost there. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera. But not to a great extent. I mean, I don't know. Sorry, this episode has turned into quite a dramatic thing, but it's okay. Tomorrow's also kind of negative. Tomorrow's podcast is also kind of negative, but it's fun and my brother's going to come and we're doing a tier list. But high school, the biggest thing I have to say is because between the ages, cuz you know they say that um the years you like develop most are like before the ages of 3. I don't believe in that completely. I heard Koi Piso talking about this. I believe that the years you develop most are between the ages of 16 and 25. Here's why. You're learning social skills, you're learning interests, you're learning how which people you can deal with, you're learning how you can handle certain situations emotionally, physically. And number 5, you were on your own. You're not being babied at that point. Those are the years you have the most development. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. It was absolutely pointless, and I was just ranting about how much I hate my school. But that's not true. Let me really quick say this. I really enjoy the experience that my theater class gives me, even though it's kind of silly and it's kind of stupid. And I have the most fun times in my math class, and my yoga teacher was super funny. I loved her. She's also my English teacher, and she's scary English though. Science, I had some good times in science with my partner and the guys that were right beside us, and college is always such a good bonding moment for me and my friend who take classes together, And art class is so fun, just goofing off, and I get to help with the middle school theater classes, and so all that's such a great experience. And I mean, it's not something I'm not completely sure the past 2 years is something I would give up because I learned so much from it. But if I didn't have to go to high school this year, I don't think I would. I would come back for my senior year, but part of me wishes I could just be an exchange student in Japan or something. But that's fine because this is my last year for some of my friends at school, and they might be going off to college, and that would be sad. So, but stay positive. Um, enjoy it, okay, and express yourself because one thing I've noticed is that if you are publicly yourself, it makes you feel a lot more confident and a lot more better about yourself. Example, my friend was taking photos of me when we were at an amusement park, and people were looking at me, and I didn't do anything. I didn't look stupid. I just ignored them, and that was completely fine, and I felt great. I felt powerful. Is this how influencers feel? This is why this is my passion, creating. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.